Hey guys, so I wanted to share like my recent OBE encounters with the other side. I'm showing Johnny how to like do them, and he saw smoke coming out of his chest, and he was like, "Holy shit, this is legit. This is like And I was like, "Yeah." But recently, so a few days ago, I was sleeping on my bed, and and then I like wasn't sleeping anymore. Like you can tell between a dream and OBE really easy, and sort of floating up above my chest. So like my body is like right here, but I'm not too far away from my real body. Other body's floating on me, and I'm turning this way, looking over here, and there's a black being sleeping next to me, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And of course, I start to get fearful, and I've seen so many crazy things. Like, I'm not as fearful as I used to be. I usually confront these things like head on. So I was trying to control my fear because I knew like it would respond, and sure enough, it did respond. And the head, because all I saw was like shoulders and a head, and then like it turned around like it's like some exorcism shit. And it had like these like, I want to say it was like yellow, and it had like these big yellow eyes and like a crazy like smile, like evil toothy like smile, but no teeth. It was just yellow, open, gaping. And of course, I was afraid, and I was like, "You don't scare me." And I'm like, trying to hold it together, and and then the being like starts talking like in like it's like gibberish. It was I don't understand like what it was saying to me, and then it started talking to my language. I can't quote word for word what it was trying to say, but it was definitely something about like I'm not supposed to be here, and trying to scare me into my body. And I was just like, for the longest, trying not to have it. And then when it started like reaching over with its head toward my face, because I have two bodies laying here, my spirit and my real me, that's when I got scared enough, and I was like wiggling my toe to return myself into my body, and it was just very scary. The next night, I pulled my friend Johnny off the couch, and I'm like, "You have to sleep with me tonight." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Half asleep." I'm like, "Just please, like." So I was getting paranoid about that, because like when these things happen, like sleeping alone actually can be very scary. And I always sleep with the lights on. My snake tanks, their lights are always on. I have to have a lamp, something. I cannot just go to sleep in the dark. So it was not awesome at all. But it's funny because like here I am a few days later, like I was kind of hungover today, but I went through another OBE, and this one's quite common. It's where I see my third eye, and it blinks back at me, and then there was like all these like different like colors and like all sorts of like, I don't know, it was really cool. And it kept blinking back at me, and then I started like seeing these pictures of it was just different places like flashing like different places, and I was like, this is weird. And I hope this isn't true or something, like it's so weird. But there was like this like weird like shadow me sort of thing, and it kept showing me as like some like it was morphing me like through like different animals, and then here I am as human. And then one of them was like a monkey, one of them was like a bird, and I was like, I don't know if that means like that was like reincarnations or something. But I was like, no, I was never a monkey. I hate monkeys. But I don't know. It was just weird. Luckily that one wasn't bad. OBs come in like all sorts of different ways. Like sometimes I'm not always floating and flying around. It's a little bit different, something like of that nature. So I think It's not only because like I've been practicing and teaching someone. I think it's also because I switched to alkaline water. Like it's a really high pH of like I don't even know. Shit, I have to look at it. But yeah, so I switched my roommates to alkaline water, and we're all drinking this alkaline water. I haven't been really eating a lot of meats, a lot of like gluten free and veggies and that kind of stuff. So yeah, getting healthy. And today I'm going to hot yoga, more mind, body, soul, you know. But yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, and this is like another thing that I should mention when I saw the black creature. Okay, so I think I've seen the black creature before because it was back in like I want to say it was middle school or high school, one of the two. But it was I was sleeping at my foster parents' house on the floor, and this same spirit like was there, and I wanted to call it a shadow being because it looked like a shadow being, but the fact that it actually had a face and the fact that it actually spoke to me doesn't sound very shadow being. Whenever I see shadow beings, they're just there. Like they don't talk to you. You don't see faces really. It's just this big black being. But this thing has a face and a gaping mouth and it talks. So I think I've seen it before, like years ago, and this is my second reoccurrence with this creature. I have no idea what it is. I wish I could like talk to like some like psychic or something of that nature who knew what it was. But uh, the night that I had that, I also went to like a witch shop. This new witch shop. I was like, going exploring, and this woman came up because I was with like my Tony, Jess, Johnny, and Skylar. Like we're all there at the witch shop, and Skylar and I are like walking side by side, and this woman like is like behind me, like really close behind me, and she's like chanting, and like I'm like, what the fuck is she chanting? And that kind of freaked me out. Kind of stepped aside and walked faster, because I don't, unless I know what you're doing, I don't want you chanting or something. Like she could have been doing something bad to me, or maybe I'm guessing because later on I did talk to her because she stopped Johnny and she's like, "Oh, you have great energy and this and that," and then she like looked at me and she's like, "Are you lost?" And I was like, "No, why am I lost?" And she's like, "Oh." And then she starts talking to Johnny again, and she seemed like a nice person, but that was a woman who was like chanting behind me. And it was that same night that this happened too. And I'm like, did she do something? I don't know. So since then, yeah, I should have got like her name and number or something because I'm like very curious on who she was. I've never had someone like do that to me. But I wish I knew some psychics so I could like talk to someone who might know more about this. Like, because I really do think something is following me. Like, most people have great OBEs. For me, it's like they're always trying to like keep me from being there or something. Like they're trying to keep me there. I don't know. It's really weird. So thought I'd share that experience. Definitely going to do more meditations, and when I do have these experiences, I'm going to YouTube them and start writing them down. I'm gonna have Johnny on here with me because he had an experience, and we have to get back with his meditations. He's been slacking, but yeah, and it's funny because like I can say this stuff works without doing drugs because Johnny's on probation and he can't do anything, and he's experienced one thing. So, and when these things happen, I'm sober. I'm not doing anything. So, all here. I don't know. So, just wanted to do that, and also wanted to talk about in the next video about my experience on Molly that happened when I first moved to Vegas, and it turned into an OBE, and it was not cut with anything. I was just in such a happy, bliss, meditative state that I just meditated myself off. So for me, it just enhanced it even more. But anyway, next video.